Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're looking at something pretty interesting. Pope Leo XIV's his first social media post.
Yeah, it's quite a moment. We're basing this on a Fox News article that covered his digital debut.
Right, and our goal here, is to really unpack what this means for the papacy, for communication today.
It's fascinating, really, seeing such a traditional institution embrace these platforms so directly.
The article mentions he's using Instagram and also planning to use X, formerly Twitter.
Although it notes that X account isn't actually active just yet, but the choice of Instagram first, very visual.
Definitely. And that very first post, It was simple. Peace be with you all.
Simple but loaded with meaning.
And apparently those were his exact first words as Pope too. So there's a clear echo there.
That continuity is, I think, quite significant. Sets a very deliberate tone right from the start.
Yeah. And the post wasn't just text, right? The Instagram one had photos.
That's right. Photos from his early days after becoming Pope. It adds a more personal layer, maybe, than we've seen before.
Which is a key point. The article brings up this idea that his approach seems more direct.
Different from past popes, where, the posts were often carefully curated by Vatican staff.
Right, like managed content. This feels potentially more personal.
It does raise that possibility, yeah. More direct channel, maybe.
And the Vatican's Dicastery for Communication even put out an announcement about it.
They did, saying he intends to keep an active presence through these official accounts. It underlines that this isn't just a one-off thing.
So they're serious about using these platforms. Could you just briefly explain what that Dicastery does for listeners maybe not familiar?
Sure. It's basically the Vatican's main communications hub. Handles all their media, PR, that sort of thing. So their announcement means this is an official, coordinated effort.
Got it. Okay, so back to that first Instagram post. He didn't just say, peace be with you.
No, he expanded on it. The quote connects it to the risen Christ, the Good Shepherd.
Right, and wishing for that peace to resonate in hearts, families.
Among all people worldwide. Very broad, very inclusive message. Anchored in faith, but reaching out universally.
It's a powerful opening statement, definitely.
Absolutely. Especially following, the recent passing of Pope Francis.
Yeah, the article reminds us Francis passed last month at 88, and his social media history, 12 years worth, is being archived.
Which is standard procedure, preserving the record. But it does feel like turning a digital page very quickly.
So Pope Leo XIV, he wasn't totally new to this world, was he? He was Cardinal Robert Prevost before.
That's right, and he actually had an X account. Started way back in 2011, apparently.
An old account. Was it active?
The article says it was used occasionally, but interestingly, it had been inactive from July 2023 until earlier this year.
Okay, so he had some prior experience, even if it wasn't constant.
Which might inform how he approaches it now. He understands the platform dynamics, potentially.
Now, this is where it gets, quite intriguing. Those older posts on his personal X account. The article points out they included some pretty direct criticisms. Specifically about the Trump administration's immigration policies.
Yes, and also comments made by Vice President J.D. Vance. It explicitly mentions past disagreements they had with Pope Francis, too, on similar issues like mass deportation plans.
So there's a record there of him expressing some, let's say, pointed views on political and social matters.
It has a really interesting layer, doesn't it? You have this current message of universal peace.
Right.
And then this documented history of, more critical online engagement. It's quite a contrast.
It really is. And speaking of political figures, the reaction from former President Trump was noted too.
What did he say?
He called Pope Leo XIV the first American pope, an honor for the U.S., said he was very happy about it.
That's a significant acknowledgement, highlighting the symbolic weight of an American holding the papacy.
And beyond politics, the article mentions he's been an inspiration to faith leaders across the U.S.
Understandably, the first American-born pope, that's a major historical marker for many Catholics in the States, and frankly, globally.
Okay, so let's try and pull out the key takeaways for you, the listener, from all this. First big one.
The papacy is clearly embracing modern communication. And, maybe in a more direct fashion than before.
Yeah, takeaway 2 builds on that. Pope Leo seems willing to engage more personally online, unlike the curated posts of the past.
Third, that central theme of peace. It's unmistakably his starting point.
And fourth, that peace message isn't just generic, it's tied directly to core Christian beliefs. The risen Christ, the Good Shepherd.
But then, maybe the most thought-provoking bit is that contrast.
Right. The fifth point, his current unifying message sitting alongside that history of more pointed social media commentary. How will those coexist?
Exactly. And finally, just the sheer historical significance. The first American pope stepping actively into the digital town square. It's a landmark.
So, summing it all up, Pope Leo XIV is stepping onto the social media stage, marking a potentially new era in papal communication, and his opening line is a call for peace.
Which leaves us, and you, with a final thought to consider. How might this direct line of communication, considering both the unifying message and those echoes of past, sharper viewpoints, how might it reshape the relationship between the papacy and the global community?
Yeah, that's the big question, isn't it? Tradition meeting the very modern digital world. Fascinating stuff to watch.